Think about the first three. Think about the first 3 seconds after you open your eyes. Before you even get out of bed, your mind is already under siege, isn't it? Your hand reaches for the phone. Notifications, bad news, unanswered messages, a life that demands to be caught up with crashes down on you. That's how most of us start the day, not like masters but like slaves, as if we're not waking up, but our problems are waking us instead. Now, what if I told you that one of the most powerful men in history, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, fought the very same battle every morning, in the very same bed, with the same resistance? While carrying the weight of the entire world on his shoulders, he had discovered how to build a mind that nothing could shake. Today, with just 5 simple steps, you will become someone who cannot be scattered by what happens during the day, whose peace cannot be hijacked by other people's words, and whom setbacks cannot gnaw at from the inside. Because this video is not about waking up early. It's about armoring your mind with a will as hard as steel. We are examining a 5-step Stoic morning ritual developed by Stoic philosophers thousands of years ago and confirmed by modern psychology that allows you to start the day with unshakable calm. If you're tired of starting every morning already defeated by the world, and if you're ready to stand firm with deep composure in the middle of chaos, buckle up. Because today we're not just waking up, we're rebuilding your mind. And we begin with the first and hardest step, the philosophy of awakening. 1. Wear the blanket not like a shroud, but like armor. Think about that most vulnerable moment of the morning, when the alarm's relentless sound echoes through the pitch darkness. What is the first impulse that rises inside you? For most people, it isn't awakening. It's the urge to escape. Your body begs you to retreat back into the warmth of the blanket, into that safe cocoon. The world outside is cold, demanding, loud. Under the blanket is quiet and secure. And right there, the first and bloodiest battle of the day begins. And sadly, most of you lose that battle before it even starts, by pressing the snooze button. Because every time you press that button, you are really saying this to life: I'm not ready for you yet. I want to postpone living for another 10 minutes. But remember, you are not alone in this fight. Even one of the most powerful men history has ever known, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, wrestled with the same temptation every dawn. Imagine it. You are an emperor, yet every morning you negotiate with yourself not to leave the bed. In a cold palace room, opening his eyes to a day filled with courtiers, wars, plagues, and betrayals, he had to write these words in his journal to convince himself to rise. When it is hard to get out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being in accordance with my nature. Now pause for a moment and look outside your own window. As the sun rises, birds begin their songs, bees leave their hives, ants build their colonies. No being in nature betrays its purpose by saying, I don't feel like it today. The sky is too cloudy. I'll stay in a little longer. Only humans can use their extraordinary intelligence to justify their own laziness. Marcus Aurelius asked his own ego a brutal question. Was I created to curl up under blankets and keep my body warm, or to fulfill my potential? The Stoics called this arete, the act of fulfilling one's purpose at the highest possible level of excellence. The arete of a knife is to be sharp. The arete of a vine is to bear grapes. So what is your arete? Is your role in this life merely to pay bills, endure traffic, and wait for the weekend? No. You are a rational being. Your task is to use your mind, contribute to society, stand firm in the face of hardship, and build your character. Stop seeing getting out of bed as a simple physical act. The moment you throw off that warm blanket is the moment you reject comfort and embrace life in its raw, unforgiving reality. Staying under the blanket is agreeing to be a living corpse, because that bed can become a soft grave for your dreams and your will. But flinging that blanket aside is a declaration to the universe. I am here, and I am on duty. When your alarm rings this morning, don't see it as an enemy interrupting your sleep. See it as an invitation, a summons to the stage, where life is calling you to play the role that only you can play. Pressing the snooze button is saying no to your own destiny. Ask yourself this: will I be a slave to my fears and inertia today? Or will I assume the noble task my nature demands? Do not rise from bed like an ordinary person. Rise like a soldier acting with a sense of mission. Let the very first second you stand be your will's first victory of the day. Because the day belongs to those who see the blanket not as a shelter, but as an obstacle to overcome. 2. You cannot be strong without recruiting biology to your side. You managed to get out of bed. But what then? Think of that heavy fog most of you feel in the morning. You're upright physically, but your mind is still half asleep. You move toward coffee like a zombie. And this is where the greatest mistake begins. You believe mental clarity can be achieved by thinking alone. You tell yourself, today will be great, be positive. But your body is screaming back, no, I'm tired, I'm unwilling. And make no mistake, when biology and willpower go to war, biology always wins. A sharp mind cannot exist in a numb body. As modern strategist Tony Robbins often emphasizes, you cannot change your story without changing your state. To build a rational strategy, you first need the right biochemical foundation. The ancient Stoics did not see the body as a temple of the mind, but as its instrument. If a carpenter's chisel is dull, no matter how skilled the carpenter is, the result will be flawed. Right now, your body is that dull chisel. And before you can build anything, you must sharpen it. This second stage of the morning is not about a gentle awakening. It's about a biological shock. Cold water, or deep diaphragmatic breaths that feel like they might tear your lungs apart. These actions are not just about health. They are a system reset for your nervous system. The first second cold water hits your skin, your breath is stolen, and all the unnecessary noise in your mind falls silent. Future anxiety, yesterday's regrets, pointless mental chatter. What remains is only the sharp, electric presence of here and now. This is your second strike against the comfort zone. Getting out of bed was willpower. Facing cold water is courage. The Stoics called this voluntary hardship. You choose difficulty before life forces it upon you. This is the most primitive and most effective way to remind your body who is in charge. Remember, your emotions are born from your actions. You cannot feel stoic calm with slumped shoulders, shallow breath, and a sluggish body. First, change your blood flow. Then watch how your thoughts begin to change. Do not force your mind like a rusted engine. Revive your body first, so your spirit can fully inhabit it. Now look in the mirror and ask yourself, does this body stand like a warrior ready for the day's challenges, or like a leaf waiting to be blown away? If the answer doesn't satisfy you, turn the water to its coldest setting and begin putting on your armor. 3. Expected pain does not shock the mind. You've awakened your body. Now it's time to repair the most fragile point of your mind, your expectations. Think about the sweet lie you tell yourself as you leave the house in the morning. Today, everything will go well. You hope the traffic will be clear, people will smile at you, and things will flow smoothly. This, sold under the name of positive thinking, is actually one of the most dangerous traps because it leaves you defenseless against reality. The world is chaotic. The universe does not care about your small plans. That perfect day scenario you imagined shatters at the first car horn in traffic, the first rude message from someone you know, or a cup of coffee spilling at the wrong moment. And the anger you feel in that moment is not caused by the event itself. It is caused by the shock, the helpless disappointment of being caught unprepared. The Stoics whispered this unshakable truth centuries ago. A blow that is expected hurts less. So before stepping into that chaotic world, we will run a drill inside the safe laboratory of your mind. This is called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This is not a ritual of pessimism. It is a mental vaccination. Just as you inject a weakened virus into the body to build immunity, you expose your mind to small doses of the day's possible disasters to build psychological immunity. Close your eyes and play your day in your mind, but not like a romantic TV series, like a realistic documentary. Imagine leaving the house and traffic coming to a complete standstill. Feel that claustrophobia, that stress of being late. Picture arriving at work and the person you greet with "good morning" doesn't even look at your face. Imagine your manager criticizing you unfairly, your computer crashing at the most critical moment. Does thinking about this darken your mood? On the contrary, it frees you. Because once you've lived these scenarios in your mind, you become desensitized to them. When that rude person appears, you're not shocked. You smile faintly and think, "Ah, there you are. I already met you this morning, in my mind." When the shock is removed, all that remains is a manageable situation. Every morning before leaving the palace, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself with these famous words, "Today I will encounter people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and antisocial." Notice the certainty. He doesn't say, "I might encounter." He says, "I will encounter." But then he completes the thought. They behave this way because they do not know what is good and what is evil. But I know the nature of the good, and that it is something noble. This perspective forges an armor of immense patience. You stop seeing people's rudeness as a personal attack and begin seeing it as a flaw in their character, a kind of illness of ignorance. Just as a doctor does not get angry at a patient, you no longer get angry at the man who cuts you off in traffic. Do not walk out the door this morning like a defenseless child. Put aside that fragile hope that says, "Everything will be great." Instead, wear the unshakable Stoic confidence that says, "Whatever comes, I am ready." Run your fire drill in the mind so the real flames cannot burn you. Remember, a fortress can only be captured when its gates are open and its guards are asleep. 4. Release the arrow, but do not claim the wind. You've prepared your mind for possible misfortune. Now it's time to plan your day. But here lies a razor-sharp distinction, and a hidden poison that ruins most lives. When you pick up a pen in the morning and write your to-do list, what are you really doing? At 10, I'll run the meeting perfectly. At noon, I'll close the deal. In the evening, I'll get home without traffic. On paper, everything looks orderly, fully under your control. You begin to see yourself as the director of life, the absolute power at the center of the world. But when the day ends and you lie down at night, that deep exhaustion, that knot of anger in your throat, this illusion is the cause. The illusion that you can command outcomes. You believe that if you want something badly enough, work hard enough, and do everything right, life owes you the result. But the universe owes you nothing. The deal may fall apart. The power may go out during the meeting. Your most trusted partner may back out at the last moment. When you sanctify outcomes, you turn yourself into fate's punching bag. The higher your expectations, the harder your fall. This is where the Stoics add a vital insurance clause to your morning routine, a footnote written in fate. As you plan your day, place an invisible but massive parenthesis at the end of every intention and goal, and add this sentence: if fate permits. If fate permits, I will finish this project today. If fate permits, I will get that promotion. This resembles the ideas of what's meant to be, or God willing in our culture, but it is far more active and disciplined. This is not laziness or resignation. The Stoic philosophers explain your stance in life through the metaphor of an archer. Picture this clearly. You are an archer. Your target is the success of that day. Drawing the bow, adjusting your stance, controlling your breath, focusing, and releasing the string. All of this is within your control. Here you must be perfect. Doing your best is your arete. But the instant the arrow leaves your fingers, that fraction of a second, the arrow no longer belongs to you. A sudden wind can deflect it. The target can move. An obstacle can appear. If you tie your happiness to hitting the bullseye, you will collapse every time the wind blows. But if you tie your happiness to shooting the arrow as perfectly as you can, to doing what is within your control, then whether the arrow hits the target or not, you win. Because you have done your part. The rest is the mathematics of the universe. Adding this clause each morning lifts the weight of the world from your shoulders. Being able to say, I will do my absolute best, but the outcome is not under my control, is a profound freedom. This perspective does not kill ambition. It kills the poison inside ambition. It transforms you from a stress-driven machine obsessed with results into a master focused on the process. Plan your day. Aim for excellence. But remember, you are only responsible for releasing the arrow, not for controlling the wind. Let the outcomes take care of themselves. You focus on the quality of your actions. Peace is not found where the arrow lands, but in the mastery of the archer's draw. 5. You do not own, you only witness. Now it's time to place the final and most powerful seal on your morning ritual. You've built your inner fortress. You've put on your armor. You've set your intention. Yet there is a silent virus still waiting in the shadows of your mind, the fear of loss. Look at what you have right now: your home, your car, your money, your career, your status, and most importantly, your loved ones, your spouse, your child, your mother. When you look at them, a feeling arises. Ownership. This is mine. This is my life. My order, my world. This is humanity's greatest mistake, its most tragic illusion. The moment you believe something belongs to you, you begin to fear losing it. But no one suffers from losing what they never believed they owned. Before stepping out the door each morning, the Stoics remind us of a painful yet liberating truth: the mindset of stewardship. As Epictetus said, do not say, I have lost it. Say instead, I have returned it. Before you turn the key and leave your home this morning, take one last look at your house, your belongings, and your loved ones still asleep. But do not look as an owner. Look as a guest. Understand that nature has generously placed these blessings in your hands, but only as a loan, with no return date specified. When you send your child to school or say goodbye to your partner, know this: not that they belong to you, but that fortune has allowed them to walk beside you. For now, is this thought frightening? No. This thought transforms a routine goodbye kiss into something deep, intense, and real. A person who understands the possibility of loss never neglects their loved ones, never becomes careless, never takes life for granted. And finally, whisper the greatest truth into your heart: memento mori. You are mortal. Most of us wake up as if time were endless, as if we had 1,000 years ahead of us. And so we waste our mornings in arrogant carelessness, getting angry over nothing, breaking hearts over trivial matters. But what if this morning were your last? Do not see this as a catastrophe, but as a calibration. If your doctor called and said, You will not see tomorrow. These are your final 24 hours. Would that car horn still enrage you? Would office gossip still matter? Would even the taste of that coffee feel the same? The thought of death is not meant to darken life. It is meant to strip away the false, unnecessary noise that surrounds it. Memento mori filters life, leaving behind only a pure, diamond-like reality. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You could leave life right now. Let this determine what you do, what you say, and what you think." As you step out the door this morning, walk as if crossing that threshold for the last time. Look at the sky as if seeing it for the final time. Draw that breath into your lungs as if it were the last gift you will ever receive. When you do this, stress dissolves. Hurry disappears, anger fades. What remains is deep stillness and profound gratitude for simply being alive. Now you are ready. The world may be waiting with all its chaos, but instead of mourning what you cannot control, you walk into it with a wisdom that values what you have, honors the present, and builds an unshakable inner fortress. Open the door. Step into life. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next videos.